Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Be glad there's one place in the world where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
So this Sunday we're celebrating with rituals of Easter and Passover, traditionally a time to get together with friends and family at church or in temple. And it's a time we normally celebrate the rebirth of Jesus rising from the dead, symbolizing eternal life. And for Jews, we celebrate Passover, a time to celebrate the exodus of Jews out of Egypt, ironically, during a time of plagues. I don't know about you, but to me, that just feels really ironic at this time when we have this coronavirus going on. So it sure takes on a new meaning, doesn't it? Today at CUL, let's celebrate the resurrection as a transmutation of an aspect of ourselves that has died or just is no longer useful to us. Let's turn that into something great, something greater. And today at CUL, let's also celebrate resurrection of ourselves, completely into ourselves. And why transmute and not transformation? Because transformation is simply changing the appearance of something. And I don't want to just change the appearance. I want to actually change. I want to change me into my best version of myself. So it's not that I think I'm going to get some reward after I croak or anything, but I just want that satisfaction of knowing I've done my work. I'm doing my work because I know it's never done. And so with each act of kindness, with each expression of gratitude, with each compassionate thought or deed, we can gradually transmute, we can gradually change into that person that we always wanted to be. And the best way to do this is not to look back at your past and your mistakes or your failures, because there really isn't any. They're just opportunities to change those experiences into, how do you say it, into better decisions for next time you're in that type of situation. And I'll bet anybody that's listening right now has made a mistake they feel bad about, and then next time they didn't do that mistake. They made a different decision, didn't you? So these are all wonderful roads to transmutation of our body, of our soul, of our mind, because this is a time of renewal at spring. So what area of your life will you transmute this week? Okay, so now I want to ask Jan to give us our daily word. Oops.
I don't.
Did you guys unmute yourself?
I know, but we can. Let's see.
Yeah, yeah. You're unmuted. Okay, so Jan, well, where'd you go? There we go.
How about now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Today's daily word is Easter, and this is April 12th. I recognize the risen Christ in family, friends, and my spiritual community. Early in the evening on the day of resurrection, Jesus, unrecognized, joins two of his followers as they journey from Jerusalem towards the nearby village of Emmaus. Accepting an invitation to stay and share a meal, Jesus takes bread, blesses and breaks it, then gives it to his hosts. In that moment, their eyes are opened, they recognize Jesus, and, alive in their hearts, he vanishes from their sight. Later, the two explain to others how the risen Christ became a living presence to them in the fellowship of breaking bread. Easter celebrates the risen Christ, an immortal presence freed from all limitation, awaiting discovery in every person and life event. I recognize the risen Christ in shared experiences with family, friends, and my spiritual community. And Luke 24:31, then their eyes were opened and they recognized him, and he vanished from their sight. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. Larry?
Hi, good morning. Happy Easter, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you, Jen.
Mhm.
I have an Easter poem. The extreme delicacy of this Easter morning spoke to me as a prayer and as a warning. It was light on the brink, spring light, after a rain that gentled my dark night. I've walked through landscapes I have never seen, where the fresh grass had just begun to green, and its roots watered deep, sprung to my tread. The maples wore a cloud of feathery red, but flowering trees still showed their clear design against the pale blue brightness, chilled like wine. And I was praying all the time I walked, while starlings flew about and talked and talked. Somewhere and everywhere life spoke the word. The dead trees woke, each bush held its bird. I played for delicate love and difficult, that all be gentle now and know no fault, that all be patient as a wild rabbit fled. Sudden before me, dear love, I would have said, and to each bird who flew up from the wood, I would be gentler, stiff, if that I could. And that poem is from May Sarton for Easter morning. Aho.
Oh, thank you,
Oh,
Larry. And Diane, you have a special reading for us?
yes, I do. The reading I chose for today is written by my shamanic teacher, John Moore, and it's called Beauty. Grandmother reminds us that we are creations of choice. We choose to live the magic we see every day, knowing that we are part of a natural cycle of life, death, and rebirth, accepting each day as the gift it was intended to be. Why waste a breath of fresh air while worrying about the last breath? While we are living in ego, the spirit wastes away. Comfort is ours in the memories we choose to carry. Security is ours in the knowledge that each step we take will connect with our mother. Certainty lies with gravity that we will not lose ourselves and float away. Like spoiled children, we waste our lives worrying about the length of the blessing while craving more. We forget to live the blessing to its fullest until the time comes for it to pass. We mourn the passing and neglect the beauty that has forever touched our lives. Beauty is vast and cannot be contained in a vessel. Disregarded beauty quickly fades away. The absence of beauty is the lack of expression of love. Beauty is an expression of the heart and cannot be found by looking through eyes, but instead by opening your heart. It is fear that we will fall that makes us plunge. It is our faith that we will rise, that will help us back up. Choose each day to regard the beauty in your life. There is no shame in loving, only in not loving enough. And so it is. Aho.
So it is. Thank you so much, Diane and Larry and Jan. So today, I just want to make a couple of announcements. Well, three. First of all, I want to thank Debbie Dem for her wonderful channeling last Wednesday. Very eye-opening and appreciated so much. We are going to be having more of these types of events, not just channeling, but on Monday, we have fun chair yoga with Brown Feather, all the way from Mexico. Vaya! And Casa Contento. Contento. That sounds right. And let's see, and then that's Thursday, or Monday, I'm sorry, at 11 o'clock. And then on Thursday at 1 o'clock, we're going to have a collaborative artworks with Sunshower Rose. So that's, and you don't have to be an artist to do this. You just have to want to create something new with her. It's going to be so fabulous. Both of these events are just going to be amazing, and we're looking forward to having more. With any luck, we'll be able to get Helen and Ted back. Helen and Ted, to do another event with them. And would love to talk to anybody else that wants to share something with the community. This is the perfect time because we don't have the constraints of a Studio B schedule. So let's do it now, and even in the future, we might do this just because we can. God, I love technology. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to Gary now. Or, I'm sorry, Barry. We're going to have a fabulous speaker. I know you're going to all enjoy him very much. We are, while I get my screen ready here, Gary is a spiritual astrologer, which kind of puts things in a different perspective, especially for us when we want to see how it works for us on a practical level. And Gary, geez, Barry, I keep looking at Gary Moxley's name here, but Barry is going to share that with us. So let me just get this all squared away. I am going to turn this over to him in just a minute. Well, Barry,
Yeah.
we are just going to turn this over to you right now.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yep, we got you.
Okay.
Hey, before we do that, everybody else, if you would just turn your video off, and we'll, we won't have so many latency problems. Just turn your video off. You can still see, but we don't need to see you right now. We'll turn it back on when we get on the other side of Barry's talk. Okay? So we are recording. If you're sitting with somebody you shouldn't be, sorry. No, we're just having fun. Okay, Barry, it's all yours, hon.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I need to get permission from you for sharing.
Oh. Is that what it's saying?
Yeah. So.
Okay, how's that?
Is my screen coming up?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
All right. So let me look at you all first. Are you seeing me?
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. I'm really happy to present what I'm going to present with you because I love astrology. And one of the things I love about astrology is how it reflects to us the elegance of the reality we live in, and gives meaning and insight to the design of this creation that we've all been participating in from the beginning of time. So I hope to share with you, it's going to be a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We're going to look at the outer planets, and my intention here is to bring them down to Earth and connect to them for you. So that's going to be by way of a little bit of history about them and their meaning, and then by way of some short guided inner meditations to connect to the energy of what those outer planets represent. Does that sound good? So let's get started here. I have a little slideshow that I prepared. Although it's not, well, there we go. You know, it's been, from the beginning of time, humans have looked to the sky collectively all across the planet and has gleaned information, and that's become what's evolved into the art of astrology. What we've been able to see with the naked eye in the sky has been basically the planets, Saturn, and then inward toward the sun. And through this diagram, you can see, can you see my cursor? I'm not sure, but the sun is at the center of the solar system, and then Mercury and on out to Saturn is what we could see with the naked eye. And each of those planets came to represent basically parts of our human experience. So Mercury is our mind and our thinking and our communication. Venus is our need to connect to others, to our environment, to feel the connection of love to other people. Mars is our will, our human capacity to make a decision and take action and actually have an effect on this material plane of time and space, to be a power in this world through our ego's experience. And then Jupiter, after Mars, represents that sort of subliminal knowing through all these human experiences we've had over many lives, that there is something greater that we are aspiring to, that the illusion we live in of being in time and space and appearing to be separate from all else, being islands upon ourselves, that's the ego's experience. Yet down in our gut, down in our second chakra, Jupiter is telling us in the background that we're more than that there is something greater. And so Jupiter is the energy in us that wants to have experiences in life, to explore, to adventure, to gain more knowledge through experience and wisdom that brings us back to that awareness of what we really are as spiritual divine beings connected to all others. And then Saturn, after Jupiter, is the part of us that remembers that we came into this dimension in order to do that. We committed our soul to conform to time and space and all the rules and regulations that it appears to present to us on the material plane that present limits and constriction and choices and accountability. And so Saturn is that part of us that commits as a soul to having the human experience, and thereby having to learn the lessons of how to bring our soul awareness, our soul light and love of what we are on a divine level into the material plane. The rest of the planets, Uranus and Neptune and Pluto, were unseen by the naked eye before a couple hundred years ago. We didn't even know they existed, yet they've always been there in play. And what I want to share with you this morning is what their role is in this design of our human experience. So to start with, I want to go to Chiron, which is actually an asteroid that was discovered in 1977 by astronomers, and they named it Chiron, even though they had nothing, they didn't know anything about astrology, these people, but they named it Chiron. And where it lies in the solar system is out between Saturn and Uranus, between the last seen planet and the first unseen planet. And its orbit actually dips inside of Saturn's orbit and outside of Uranus's orbit. And the significance of that is because Chiron in astrology has come to represent the wounded healer. In mythology, Chiron was this character that was wounded in life, but through his own healing, learned how to be a healer. And that's the theme of Chiron. It points to the most significant wounding patterns in our early childhood. And its purpose in the design of our life is to intervene in continuing past life karmic patterns that we would otherwise be stuck in. And because it's a wounding pattern, it hurts. It hurts to some extent. But in unconsciousness, as egos, as human personalities, for most of history, it's been necessary, really, pain is what gets our attention to cause us and motivate us to actually dig deeper and start to change our behaviors. But out of that, when we do heal, comes our capacity to reconnect to the holistic understanding of our lives and of reality. And as we heal, we actually become sources of transformation, transmutation, as Kimberly would say, in the world, because we are tapped into that holistic version of perspective that our soul is able to capture, where our ego is lost in the limited perspective of time and space. So when Chiron was discovered back in the 70s, you know, that's when the holistic healing movement started. If most of us are old enough to remember that, you know, there were gatherings, you know, a lot of alternative type people were starting to create these holistic healing gatherings because it became a movement right when Chiron was discovered. Okay? And this notion of mind, body, spirit, a holistic approach toward healing, toward life, really started to grab hold as a collective consciousness. Now, it's not that there weren't individuals prior to this time that were already onto this, but it's when Chiron was discovered that it became a collective consciousness that has grown since then and is become a large part of, in some ways, become part of the mainstream understanding of things. Chiron connects to our fourth chakra, the heart chakra. On the ego level, we experience our heart chakra through Venus. It's our need to connect, to love, see? And that's always been there. And it drives our longing through our heart to want to connect, to experience love. But it's a limited version of love that Venus draws us to. It's not the holistic, soulful version of love that is unconditional and connected to all others, the love that we already are, that we don't even have to seek out because that is of what we are, see? From the illusion, Venus draws us to experiences in connection with others where we get tastes, we get these tastes, and sometimes they're really juicy and we call it falling in love. Or it's with family where we have these deep, deep loves for each other. But even those are short of the fullness that we can experience on the divine level. Well, Chiron connects to our fourth chakra by cracking open our heart, often through pain, often through some sort of wounding experience in which we have to dig deep and start to reconnect to that interior resourcefulness to our soul to be able to heal and come back to wholeness and love. So it's in 1977 when Chiron was discovered that we started to really apply ourselves collectively to that principle of healing as a necessary component of our spiritual journeys. Now I'm going to go back further in time now. And Uranus, the first planet past Saturn, was discovered with the use of the telescope in 1781. And we now know it looks something like this. This is a shot from the Voyager satellite. Uranus came to represent in astrology the ego's bridge to our soul's truth, to divine truth. And so it's our intuitive mind, it's our mental intuition. And it awakens us in a way to the deeper truth that our human mind, which is represented by Mercury, our human mind through logic and reason can't always get to the truths that are necessary to help us and guide us in life, to keep us authentically on our track as the unique individual beings of divine being that we are. We come in with life plans. We come in with certain intentions to experience parts of our human potential that add and contribute to our ego, or to our soul's consciousness as we continue to evolve as souls. And Uranus represents that bridge to our soul that allows our mind to can capture intuitively truths about our own unique lives, but also about concepts of reality that the logical mind tends not to get on its own, because our logical mind comes from the ego's experience of separation, of limit, of duality and polarity. And so a concept like knowing, for example, for myself, at some point in my life, I instantly knew that I am an eternal soul. In a flash, I transferred from being basically an atheist who really doubted all of that as reality to knowing that was true. And it wasn't through logic. My logical mind defied it, but I knew it instantly, and I've never doubted it since, because it is such a part of what I know, and I can't explain it. I can't prove it to anybody, but I know it. So that's the nature of Uranus in connecting us to our soul in terms of knowledge and wisdom. Our soul has such a storehouse of experience and wisdom that connects to way beyond what our ego is. So from that confidence, we tend to limit, we need freedom. We need freedom to follow our intuitions and express our uniqueness as unique souls. So when Uranus was discovered, it happened to be the time of the American Revolution, the French Revolution. This is when collectively humanity was claiming the right to basically follow our individuality, okay? I don't have to be told what to do. I'm a free agent, and I need the freedom to live my life authentically. That's the collective connection. And then this movement grew around the planet more and more for freedom to grow as a concept for humanity. Freedom of thought, freedom of beliefs. So Uranus connects to the first chakra, and it's the first chakra on the ego level is connected to Saturn. It's, like I said, through that Saturn, it's our commitment of our soul to exist as in the material form. So I invite you each to, right now, to close your eyes, place your hand somewhere down near your first chakra, your root chakra, if that's comfortable for you. And just feel into that first chakra. And affirm, I'm going to say words, and feel free to take these words in. Through my first chakra, my intention is to stay anchored into this planet, anchored into this material world. I claim my right to exist here, to take up space, and to be a human being. I claim my right to survive, to create comfort and pleasure, and to have a life. I also stretch my awareness and invite my soul to keep me authentic. I ask, soul, please give me my truths about my life and about the meaning of life and reality. Give me the truths I need to know to stay authentic in my intention in this lifetime. I commit to my authenticity as a soul in this life. And now come back. So almost 100 years later, Neptune was discovered in 1846. That's a view of Neptune there, okay? And Neptune is our ego's bridge to divine love, whereas Uranus is more the mental connection to our soul. Neptune is the feeling, the heartfelt connection to our soul, to the divine love that we really are, the unconditional love that we are immersed in this universe. But we are of it, and it comes through us, and we are it. It's through the Neptune part of our experience that we're able to capture the feelings of compassion, forgiveness, acceptance, tolerance. Our ego can't capture those feelings because from the ego's point of view, it's all about survival and competition for survival. So, and more importantly, from the ego's point of view, in the longing to reconnect to that divine love, we have experiences of love in our life, but when that love is threatened, we feel fear. When the love seems to go away, we feel grief. When the love is out of our control, we feel anger. And when the love is restored, we feel joy. Those are the ego's emotional experiences. But Neptune allows us, the Neptune part of us allows us to capture, even unconsciously, though for all of human history, we haven't been thinking of it this way, but it's always been there as part of our connection to our soul that allows us to feel that feeling level that comes from the reality of the unity, of the oneness that we are, and feel compassion and forgiveness. That isn't afraid of losing love because it already knows. We already know there's no losing love. So it's our intuitive heart. It's how we experience oneness and divine awareness. And it also feeds into our ability to be healers, to be visionaries, to be artists, okay? Because we're connecting to the whole ideal version of what we really are as frequency of love. And we're able to channel that in through our ego and personality in ways that contribute to our expression in the world. So, you know, it was right around the time that Neptune was discovered that the transcendentalists, you know, showed up, you know, Longfellow and people like him, who were starting to claim the basic right to be spiritual but not religious. When you go back far enough, that wasn't something people were allowed to do. You couldn't be spiritual but not religious. You know, that could threaten your life or at least your reputation. And it was after Neptune came into collective consciousness that this whole idea of, I don't need to be part of a religion. I don't need to be part of some organized, I have my direct experience of the divine myself. That's the Neptune consciousness. So Neptune connects to the second chakra. And the ego level, it's through Jupiter. In the second chakra is where we have that childlike, magical childlike experience of, now that I'm in the world, now that I'm committed to being here, I want to experience life. I want to adventure and explore. I want to have all sorts of human experiences that expand my awareness of coming back to the holistic, whole awareness of what I really am. Now, we don't think that in our heads on that Jupiter level. It's just subliminally built into us. It's sort of a subliminal memory that there is something more than what this world appears to be. And we want to grow back to that. So there's a yearning for experience and growth and more wisdom in our life. Neptune in our second chakra basically more directly brings us that holistic version of who we really are as divine love. So I invite you to go back in, place your attention, your hands, if that helps, on your second chakra down below your belly. And from there, I say these words. I feel the longing to be expanded, to expand my awareness, I yearn for adventures. I yearn to experience more of life. To wake up each morning, I want to take in what life has to offer. and learn and grow and connect. And at this time, I stretch my awareness of who I really am as a soul. And I invite my soul to keep me feeling through my heart the one that I already am with everything I encounter, everyone I encounter. So even as I witness the pains, the suffering, the unpleasantness that comes from the illusion of separateness, even when I run into that in people and situations, I am able to hold that experience in the context of the oneness and unity of love that I am and everyone is, and feel the compassion toward the experiences that I'm having and others are having, knowing we are all whole already. Keep my heart open, soul. Keep me in the realm of compassion, even as I explore this world of illusion. And now come back. So in 1930, Pluto was discovered, right between the two world wars, just as the Depression started. There's Pluto there. Pluto is the ego's bridge to divine power. So in Uranus, we have mental knowing, wisdom. In Neptune, we have divine love, unity. And in Pluto, we have divine power. This is the connection to our soul's knowing that we are the agents of creation. We created our bodies. We played a part individually as souls and collectively with other beings to bring about the matching of the egg and the sperm that came together that in a unique way that needed to receive our divine spirit into that physical form. We played a part in that. We helped create that. And each day, minute by minute, we continue to create our bodies. That's our life force. That's our spirit as a creative force, creating the reality that we are, beginning with our own bodies, but also the choices we make in life, the reality we create around us, and collectively, the reality of this planet that we experience all together. That's who we are in spirit. We are agents of creation with the one true creator of all. Yet, for most of the time, we didn't know that. Most of us, for most of the time. Pluto is the power of creation, and involved in creation is that transmutative energy of destruction and renewal, death and rebirth. See, it's all part of the process we experience in this dimension of time and space. In order to create the new, we have to destroy the present, okay? And that can seem like death. Sometimes that's our own physical presence, real death of the human body, okay? But more often it's more metaphorically the death of something in order to allow something new to be born. That's how we create, individually and collectively. So it collectively, there's a power of creation and that we have, but individually we also are empowered to create our lives. So Pluto was discovered during the beginning of the Great Depression, okay? And when you think about the Depression, it's in some ways it's similar to energy that's happening now, in that there's, in this pandemic, it's like so many things are being shut down. It feels like there's this change that's happening where we know there's certain versions of the collective reality that we created over time that are actually being destroyed. They're not going to survive this pandemic. But you also can see that there's new versions of how we can organize ourselves collectively on this planet through rules, regulations, policies, institutions, technology, and so forth, that allow a rebirth of how we organize our reality collectively. And individually, there's an opportunity to do the same for our own individual experiences and being on this planet. To let certain things die, let them go away. Because as we experience this, we realize there's a value we are valuing. Somebody was saying earlier before the meetings that you start to appreciate what's really important about the human experience and giving that more importance. And that informs us on what to let die and what to invest into giving rebirth. It was shortly after the discovery of Pluto that we also created the atom bomb. That's the power of Pluto. I mean, that's the ultimate sort of dark side of Pluto's energy that can come through when we aren't conscious. When our ego is unconscious of who we really are as the creators, then we create things that are not aligned with the wholeness of what we are as loving beings on a divine level. So let's go in again. I invite you and put your attention on your third chakra, your solar plexus, just right down there below your rib cage. And from here, I say the words, I claim my power as an individual, as a human body and personality, to have a will, to make decisions, to take actions, to be a force in this world of transformation that makes change simply because I decide I want to do that. I can move my body. I can make things happen. I have that power as a human being. And I invite my soul to take charge of that power. I invite Creator through my soul to exercise divine will through my individual personality will. I align myself with that greater purpose, with that greater love, with that greater wisdom. I ask, Spirit, show me, tell me, guide me, use me. I surrender and submit my ego's will to the greater will that my soul is connected to. So now come back. And realize this is who we are. This is the power that we have to bring at this time. Astrologically, there are configurations of planets that are going on. I think it was brought to your attention in January by Arvel that Pluto and Saturn were just conjoined. And that's a big deal because Pluto, that power that we have to bring transmutative change and creation to this planet, was combining with the property of Saturn, which is how we order the collective reality. What is the reality consensus that we share that forms the institutions and the rules and the way we do life as a planet? And Pluto is inviting us to be more conscious of the power we are to transmute the way we are as a collective species on this planet. And it starts with our own individual lives as we make that commitment to ourselves and to the direction of our own life. and staying connected to our soul's wisdom, to our soul's love, and our soul's power. These ideas excite me. And because when we think astrologically, we realize for all of human history, we were limited to the planet Saturn. And then these 3 other planets came in the last couple of centuries, and they're already taking hold of the collective consciousness. We're already seeing how collectively we're starting to tap in to consciously to what these planets represent. And what's next? Well, look at what astronomers are already discovering. Exploring our own galaxy, actually naming bodies out there in space that are particular. And then beyond our galaxy, here's a map of the galaxies around our galaxy. So our eyes are able to see so much more now what's happening on the material level of the universe we live in. And to me, the excitement is, what does that represent in terms of what's in store for our ability to bring that physical awareness into our consciousness of what's possible, of who we really are and what can really happen in our experience in this dimension. And with that, I'm done. I'll give it back to Kimberly.
Thank you so much, Barry. All right. That was really interesting. And I really like the part about you. There is no, that we never lose love. And especially we never lose love as long as we love ourselves. That's an inside job. And that's the #1 job we probably all have. Love yourself. That way you can never be without love ever. So so thank you so much, Barry. That was really fascinating. And I'm hoping that you're going to do a class on the other chakras and the other planets.
Yes, I'd like people to contact me if they're interested in creating an astrology venue through CUL. I'm not sure how to go about that, so I want to hear from people what they would like. And then I'll formulate something and we'll make it happen. And I don't know if people have access to how to contact me, but maybe you can put that up somehow.
Okay, let's see. I'll have a, oh gosh. Barry, what is your email?
asabovebarry@yahoo.com. So it's spelled just as it sounds, asabovebarry@yahoo.com.
There you go, everyone. There's his email address, so we can connect with him on creating an astrology, what'd you call it? Astrology venue?
It can be a class if you like, or just a discussion group, or, you know, I'm not sure what the experiential levels are of people and what they want out of this, but I'm willing to teach if that's.
Well, that's a great, okay, that sounds perfect.
No charge.
Oh gosh, that's even better. Thank you so much, Barry. And I'm just putting up our PayPal button or PayPal link again for everybody. But I just want to ask Linda Libalula if she would give us a little, like a 2-minute talk about the masks that she and Larry and Jan are working on. This is very important. Hold on a second. There's my mask. See, and it has little dragonflies on it. So when I go, you probably couldn't hear me, but when I go to the grocery store or any place where there's a lot of people, I can wear that. And I not only feel safe, I feel very stylish. So Linda, uh-oh, do I need to unmute you?
I got it.
Okay, 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay, well, this is hard. I do, all of the masks that we're doing are from my stash or a supply of fabrics that were hanging around my house. So they're not all as stylish as Kimberly's. Larry and Jan are donning theirs right now. These are a little different from most of them that you're seeing online. These are 2 layers of cotton fabric. there is a filter inside, which is really good for the virus. Most of them do not have a filtering system. This one has a filtering system. It's also wired at the nose. There is a wire. Larry is busy at home twisting wire for us. I don't know if you can see that. That goes in the nose bridge so that you can clamp it down, and it does make a good seal against your nose, which a lot of them do not. Larry's wearing his. This one is Star Wars, which is dedicated to my son, but there's a couple of Southwestern designs. There's just all kinds of, who knows what was in my stash. And they have so generously given me their time to cut these all out for me. That's something my back does not allow me to do with any speed. So I've got all kinds of patterns for fabrics for women and men. If you contact me, I can take shots of it and send, if you've got a camera, you know, phone that you can get, or even email, I can send you the patterns that I have. You can place an order and I'll get them out as soon as I can. What we are doing with these is I'm taking donations, whatever you would like to spend on your mask, and I am turning it all over to Kimberly. It's a CUL project. I'm not charging anything. Larry and Jan aren't charging anything because this is stash fabric that I've had since, I don't have any idea when I bought it, who gave it to me, or where it came from, but it's all, they're totally washable, even with the wire in it, because Larry tells me I've got a stainless steel wire in there. So anybody who would like to contact me, please do. I'll show you what I have available. We'll get a mask out to you as soon as possible. Okay? Thank you. And again, all proceeds go to Kimberly.
Here's my little bucket until I go deposit it into the bank. Thank you so much, Linda. And so do I tell them about the other masks that you're doing for the hospital?
Oh, well, yes, I stopped production in between things that I'm doing because the hospital is asking for masks that cover their good surgical, the masks that they have to wear, which is where the shortage is. And it's just a 2-layer cotton mask with the same profile that I'm using here. But I've put out some of those, and I've also stopped production for a while, and I've done some of the gowns that the hospital is looking for. There's a group, Verdi Sews, here in the Valley that is putting out the gowns that they'll wear over their scrubs and stuff for each patient, because again, the shortage is there. And I think they've got like 300 in that group now. So Verde Valley is doing a great job in supporting our healthcare workers and getting gowns to them. Last time I saw a post, there was 100 and some odd gowns from the group that was going over to the hospital at that time. So anyone with a sewing machine out there who wants to help, we'll put you to work.
Or a pair of scissors.
With our good pair of scissors. Well, Jan and Larry, I loaned them all the supplies they needed in order to do all of this. So.
Well, that's just amazing what you guys are doing, because I know how much help they need, and I know they appreciate it, and I certainly do as well, and CUL does as an organization. So,
well, I do want to cover my friend. I want to keep my friends and my family safe, and so masks have been sent off to friends and family, and so everyone in the Valley and all my friends who are online right now, this is our goal, is to keep you safe.
You're the best.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any announcements or anything you'd like to make?
Tomorrow we have 11 a.m. We have some chair yoga for all you couch potatoes. You've been sitting on the couch too long. Gotta move.
That's right. And you know who you are. I'm one of them.
You're right. Yeah.
So let's all meet. Let's all meet 11 o'clock tomorrow, right here on Zoom. I've sent out the email with the link on it, and Cookie has, Brown Feather has as well. I'm sorry, Cookie. I love you guys. And you are just a cookie because you're so sweet.
I know.
But,
I know.
I've sent that link out. If you don't have that link, Olivia, I hope we see you there. All the guys, I hope we see you there. Nobody will be watching. You can mute or you can turn off your video so we don't see you.
That's a good thing too.
Oh no, man, that's not a good thing.
Move it. Gotta move
Let's
it,
see.
we lose it.
Well, I just wanted to say
Thursday-
I love Barry.
Pardon?
His whole thing was very wonderful. It was just so
Wasn't it?
spiritual, and it was very divine. I could hear a divine mind and divine voice coming right out of him.
Excellent. Oh, that's great.
Kimberly, since you recorded it, maybe you could send the email to us.
I could, absolutely.
Okay.
Everybody that wants it or everybody that's on here, I can send it out. Actually, I'll probably just send it out to the whole email newsletter. You know what? It's just like we talk about us being a buffet. You know, you take what you want, you leave the rest.
Right.
Right? And that's what we're
Can't
about.
wait for potluck and karaoke.
Hey, we're gonna have to combine that, man. We really got to have another potluck. I'm tired of eating my own cooking already.
But right now, we would have to have a virtual potluck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we
well,
can
we
do
can
that.
do that too.
We
Yeah,
can
you
do
show
that.
your food.
We can do that too.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Anybody else go? Oh, Thursday, 1 o'clock, collaborative artworks with Sunshower Rose. Don't forget, because that's the stuff that she showed me. If you haven't been to her website, you got to go.
Now, what about
What she showed me as the end result of what she's wanting to show us how to do is just magnificent. And anybody can do it. I think anybody can do it. Because if I can do it, you can do it. So let's all meet there on Thursday at 1 o'clock right here on Zoom as well. And let's see, what else? Thank you to Karen Reedstrom for keeping the flute circle going. That's an important part of what we do. Even though I don't play, it's important that our people stay connected and doing the things that they love to do. All right, peeps, anything else?
What kind of artwork is it for the collaborative thing?
You know, it's to me, it's 2 photographs. Is Sunshower still on here?
No.
No.
I think she might have jumped off.
She went to Pluto.
She went to Pluto. I don't blame her. I'll go to Pluto. But she showed me how she does this, and it's actually 2 photos, but magnificent photos like the red rocks, and then an eagle flying on the red rocks with the background. I mean, she
Ooh.
shows us how to do this. It's a superimposed type of image. It's very simple. I do it a lot, actually. I do it a lot and have done it a lot with Arville's stuff over the years.
You know what?
But
I'm gonna
she's really good at teaching, and I'm not. I'm just good at doing.
Sounds really interesting. I'm gonna have my mom show you some photos she's been blowing up.
Is that
Mom, can you
Cher?
Yeah, show them right on the wall there, Mom. Because it
Okay,
sounds
Hold
It
on.
sounds-
Okay, this is Christopher's mom in New York, right?
kind of
yes, hi, everybody.
uncanny
Hi,
that you
everybody.
sent pictures of the red rocks because she's.
Oh.
Oh, I thought you were right next to him.
No, I'm not, but
She's
here I
running
am.
across the house.
Can you
Check
see
it
them?
out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This one's from CUL.
Oh,
See?
that's
did you get it?
beautiful.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep.
And see,
And then-
she could take those, Sunshower could take those clouds back there and use
Yeah.
another image and like put the eagle flying in the clouds or something. That's just how she
Oh.
Like
kind of
superimpose.
superimposes things. It's fabulous. I think you all would really love it.
I took that out of, I took that cloud picture sitting in CJ's car. We were
Oh.
driving somewhere.
And the middle one
yeah.
is her golfing. Her and I golfing.
Where did you golf at?
Where
That
was it,
was
Chris?
it's called Agave Highlands now. It used to be called Verde Santa Fe.
Oh,
here.
okay.
Cornville, towards Cornville.
Yeah. Nice. I've
Yes,
missed
very nice.
I miss
Yeah.
golf. All right,
It's
love.
still
Well, it's
open.
been wonderful seeing you again. Dr. Nicole is on deck for next Sunday. Hopefully she'll be with us. If she cannot be there, then I'll be giving the message, and I'll have more information on Wednesday. Okay? If you have any questions or have any ideas or suggestions about a program or class or presentation you would like to make, just give me a shout. I'm pretty easy about this stuff, and I love all the talent and information that we have just in our little community. So give me a call, give me a text, something. And I look forward to seeing you all. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Hey,
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
yeah.
Thank
Peace
you.
and love.
Hey, Linda.
Thank you.
Linda,
Bye.
those masks are pretty stylish, but nothing like your shoe collection.